The advice you've been given about cash ISAs is costing you money. Not maybe. Not in some edge case. Right now, in April 2026, millions of UK savers are earning less interest than they should be, specifically because they opened a cash ISA instead of a regular savings account. Text overlay: your ISA might be costing you money. And the wildest part? This was great advice 10 years ago. It just isn't anymore, and almost nobody updated the memo. Here's why this matters to you personally. If you earn between £25,000 and £45,000 a year, which is the most common salary range in the UK, you have something called the personal savings allowance. It means the first £1,000 of savings interest you earn each year is completely tax-free. Already. Without an ISA. Text overlay: £1,000 tax-free savings interest, no ISA needed. And for most people in that salary bracket, £1,000 of tax-free interest is more than they'll ever actually earn on their savings in a single year. Which means the ISA wrapper is doing absolutely nothing for them, except locking them into a lower interest rate. But wait, doesn't that mean cash ISAs are completely pointless? No. And that distinction is exactly what's going to save or cost you real money this year. We need to talk about who actually benefits from a cash ISA in 2026, who doesn't, and what the best options are in both camps. The myth goes like this: ISAs are always better because the interest is tax-free. Your parents said it. Martin Lewis used to bang on about it. Every single April, comparison sites push cash ISA tables to the top of Google because that's when the new tax year starts and ISA season drives enormous traffic. The advice made perfect sense before April 2016. Before that date, every single penny of savings interest you earned was taxable. Banks automatically skimmed 20% off the top before you even saw it. In that world, an ISA was genuinely magic. It was the only way to shelter your savings from tax. Then the government introduced the personal savings allowance, and everything changed. If you're a basic rate taxpayer, your first £1,000 of interest is tax-free. Higher rate? £500. Additional rate? Zero. But if you're on 125 grand, this video probably isn't aimed at you. Here's a real scenario. Meet Sarah. She's 29, earns £32,000 a year, and has £15,000 in savings. She put it all in a cash ISA paying 3.8% because that's what she thought she was supposed to do. Sarah's earning £570 in interest. That's well under her £1,000 personal savings allowance. She would pay zero tax on this interest even in a normal savings account. But the best easy access savings accounts right now? They're paying 4.4 to 4.6%. That's over £100 a year Sarah's losing. Not to tax. To a lower interest rate. She's paying an invisible loyalty fee to a product that's giving her zero tax benefit. And here's the part that almost nobody talks about: the reason cash ISA rates are often lower isn't a conspiracy. Banks know that ISA customers feel locked in. They know the annual £20,000 allowance creates a sense of scarcity that discourages switching. So they can afford to offer worse rates and still attract deposits. Right. So who should and shouldn't use a cash ISA in April 2026? I've got 5 specific scenarios, and one of them is yours. Number 1. You have less than £22,000 in savings and earn under £52,000. Skip the ISA. At 4.5% interest, which is roughly the best easy access rate available right now, you'd need about £22,200 in savings before your interest exceeds the £1,000 personal savings allowance. If your total savings are below that, you physically cannot earn enough interest to be taxed. Text overlay: £22,200 at 4.5% equals £1,000 interest equals PSA limit. Go find the highest paying easy access account and put your money there. Right now, In April 2026, the top easy access accounts include Chase at 4.4%, though that's a variable rate that could change, and several building society accounts north of 4.3%. Check MSE's Best Buy table the day you watch this because these shift weekly. The curiosity loop you need answered: what if you're above that threshold? That's scenario 2, and it changes everything. Number 2. You have more than $22,000 in savings, or you're a higher rate taxpayer. Now the cash ISA matters. If you earn above $52,000, your personal savings allowance halves to £500. Suddenly you'd only need about $11,000 in savings before a cash ISA starts earning its keep. And if you've built up $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in savings? The ISA wrapper is genuinely protecting real money from a real tax bill. This is where the actual best cash ISAs for April 2026 come in, and I've deliberately held these until now because the rates only matter once you know whether you should even be using one. Number 3. The best cash ISAs right now, and why the top pick might surprise you. For easy access cash ISAs in April 2026, the standout rates are in the 4.1 to 4.4% range. CHIP is offering 4.3% on their easy access ISA. Plum is at 4.1%. Trading 212's cash ISA sits at 4.2%. These are all FSCS protected up to £85,000 per banking license. Text overlay: all FSCS protected up to £85,000. But here's the bit that shocks people: if you're willing to lock your money away, fixed-rate cash ISAs are still paying more. Synergy Bank's 1-year fix is at 4.35%. Gatehouse Bank's 2-year fix is around 4.2%. Notice something? The non-ISA account is actually beating both ISA options. Which brings us right back to the core debunk: unless you need the tax wrapper, you're sacrificing returns for a label. Now, there's one scenario that changes the maths completely, and it's the one nobody on TikTok is talking about. Number 4. The flexible cash ISA loophole that genuinely matters. A flexible cash ISA lets you withdraw money and replace it within the same tax year without it counting against your £20,000 annual ISA allowance. A non-flexible ISA? Once you take money out, that portion of your allowance is gone forever for that tax year. This matters if you're maxing out or getting close to maxing your £20,000 ISA allowance each year. If you never put in more than a few thousand, flexibility is irrelevant, but it's a feature worth checking before you open any cash ISA. CHIP, Moneybox, and several building societies offer flexible ISAs. Always confirm before opening. If the provider's website doesn't explicitly say flexible ISA, assume it isn't. Number 5. The long game argument for opening a cash ISA even when you don't technically need one yet. Here's my one genuinely contrarian take that you won't find in most comparison articles. If you're 25 and earning 30 grand with 12,000 in savings, you don't need a cash ISA today. The maths are clear. But in 10 years, you might be earning 55 grand with 60,000 in savings, and at that point, you desperately wish you'd been filling ISA wrappers every year. The £20,000 annual allowance doesn't roll over. Use it or lose it. Every year you don't contribute is an allowance permanently gone. So there's a genuine argument for putting at least some money into a cash ISA now, even at a slightly lower rate, to build up your ISA pot for the future when the tax savings actually bite. Text overlay: £20,000 annual ISA allowance, use it or lose it. The question is whether that future tax saving outweighs the interest you're giving up today. And for most people on 30-odd grand, losing £50 to £100 a year in interest is a reasonable insurance premium against future tax bills. But only if the rate gap is small. If the ISA is paying a full % less than the best savings account, take the higher rate and reassess next April. Let me run the actual numbers across 3 real scenarios so you can find yourself. Scenario A, Priya, 26, earns 28,000, has 8,000 in savings. She puts it in the best easy access account at 4.5%. Annual interest, £360. Tax on that, 0, because it's well under her £1,000 PSA. She earns £32 more per year than if she'd used the best cash ISA at 4.1%. Scenario B, James, 34, earns 48,000, has 25,000 in savings. Best savings account at 4.5%, £1,125 interest. He's over his PSA by £125. Tax owed, £25 at the basic rate. Net interest, £1,100. Best cash ISA at 4.3%, £1,075 interest, 0 tax. James is actually better off in the regular savings account, even after paying tax. Text overlay, James, savings account wins by £25 per year even after tax. Scenario C, Fatima, 38, earns 56,000, has 45,000 in savings. Higher rate taxpayer. PSA of £500. Best savings account at 4.5%, £2,025 interest. Tax owed on £1,525 above her PSA at 40%, £610. Net interest, £1,415. Best cash ISA at 4.3% on 20,000, the max allowance, earns £860 tax-free. Remaining 25,000 in a savings account earns £1,125, taxed on £625 above her remaining PSA allocation. The split strategy saves Fatima over £240 a year. For her, the ISA is doing real, measurable work. The pattern is dead clear. Below roughly 22,000 in savings as a basic rate taxpayer. The ISA is decoration. Above it, or in the higher rate band. It's a tool you need to be using strategically. Here's your one action for today. Open your banking app, check what your cash ISA is actually paying right now, and compare it to the best easy access savings account on MoneyExpert's Best Buy table. If the savings account pays more and your total interest is under your personal savings allowance, move your money. You can do it in 15 minutes. There is no penalty for withdrawing from an easy access ISA, and no rule that says you have to use one. If you're now wondering whether your stocks and shares ISA is making the same mistake but with investments, I've made a video on exactly that, and the answer is even more surprising. It should be appearing on screen right about now. This video is for information only, not financial advice. Always speak to a qualified UK financial advisor before making decisions.